Sound rolling.
Hello guys, welcome back to the OK Magic channel. This is the channel where you learn how to make all the VFX you've ever dreamed of creating. Yes, this is the right channel for you. And today we are making this mirror duplicate effect. Yes, you must have seen this effect in many movies and even music videos where the subject is doing something different from its reflection in the mirror. That is the exact effect we are making today. And let's go! Okay, so before we go into the breakdown, I know you must have seen the other VFX at the end of the video I just played. Yes, that's the glass shattering effect. This video is only going to cover the mirror duplicate part of that video because I don't want them to get mixed up since they are different VFX. So when people search for them, I want them to pop up independently, so it will be easier to understand that way. Now, to make this effect, I have this beautiful set here where I will be playing chess with my reflection. Can I play chess? Yes, of course I can play chess. So to make this effect, the first thing we need to understand is timing. This is very important because you will have the same person playing the subject and the reflection. Well, in your case, you might have a double to play that reflection for you, but in my case, I'm playing both the subject and the reflection. So I have to understand the timing of the subject's performance and the timing of the reflection's response. So in this little drama I'm going to have here, so the subject is going to play chess with the reflection in the mirror, and when it gets to a point, it's going to get angry because the reflection is going to checkmate its king, and the subject is going to hit the reflection with this turning stick. Okay, hear me out. It's not like I wanted to use the turning stick, but for some reason I couldn't get a baseball bat, and I was looking for some mafia gangster friend to get me some baseball bats, but you know, I couldn't get. I'm thinking of changing my circle.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
It will help you a lot if you have a director to help you with this project, but if you are shooting alone, just know the timing of the subject and the reflection's performance. Aside the timing of the performance, another thing you need to be cognizant of is the subjects overlapping each other. You don't want them to overlap each other because it will be difficult for you to edit that way. For example, I don't need this part of this reflection shot, so I'm going to try as much as possible not to let it overlap the reflection in the mirror. So what you can do is draw an invisible line between the subject and the reflection. This will help you a lot in edits. So another thing is it will help you a lot if you are shooting from an angle. So this way you can see both the subject and the reflection. Once that is done, the next thing we need to do now is to shoot our performance. First, I'm going to shoot the subject. So while shooting the subject, while subject is doing his performance, it has to wait for the reflection. Although you have not shot the reflection, but you still have to factor in the time of the reflection's performance while shooting the subject. So the next thing, I'm going to shoot the reflection. Again, I'm going to factor in the time of the subject, what the subject has done, and then respond to it. So when we are done with all this, let's fire up After Effects. So before we go to the edit, make sure your camera was locked all through the shoot. Now let's import our clip to After Effects. I only have one clip because I recorded both performances at a stretch. Now I'm going to drag it to this icon here to create a composition with it. So I'm going to rename this composition main composition. Yeah, main comp. Yeah, main comp. So I'm going to go to the composition and then start trimming to the area I need, but first I'm going to duplicate it and then rename this mirror guy 1. So this is supposed to be the reflection, so let me just rename it anyhow first. Mirror guy 2 for this second one. Okay, so I'm going to go to the toolbar at the top here and mask this mirror guy 1 clip. Because I recorded both at a stretch, so I will have to know where each of them is going to start from. So the next thing I'm going to do is to now start trimming to where the performance is supposed to start from. What I'm going to do next is to trim out this end part. So I'm going to Command Shift D and delete that end part. I'm going to do it for the second one, Command Shift D, delete. Then I'm going to go to the start of the clip and then trim the start of the clip this way too. Then I'm going to go to the end of the clip and then click on N to close this area. Let me stretch it a bit. Right click the work area like this and then trim comp to work area. So this is what we are working with. So I'm going to rename this properly. So I'm going to rename this subject mirror guy 1. Yes, so that is our subject. So for the reflection, I'm going to rename it mirror guy 2. That is the reflection. Now let's delete this mask. I'm going to open up mask with M and then delete this mask. So after deleting the mask, I'm going to use the pen tool to draw a perfect mask. It is not going to be really perfect, but I'm going to draw a more precise mask around the reflection like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to animate this mask. So the masking doesn't really need to be perfect. So if you check around there, you will see that the reflection clip is showing on the subject. You don't have to worry about that, because the next thing we are going to do after animating this mask now is to rotoscope this subject clip. So my recording stopped working at a point here, so you might not be able to see it, but I will just explain anyway. So what I did is just to duplicate the clip, the subject clip, which is the mirror guy 1, and then rename it mirror guy 1 roto. So I rotoscoped it. So if you still want to know more about rotoscoping, check out my last video on my channel. You will see how to rotoscope from shoot to edit. And if you are wondering why there's a split at the end of this clip, is because the timing was not so perfect. It was almost perfect, but it was off at a point, so I have to trim out the part that is off, the extra seconds, just that extra second that was off. I had to trim it out, so that is why there's a trim there. But other than that, we are good. Now let's continue. At this stage, if you check your shot, you will see that it's looking good already. But now we need to pay more attention to details. The details we need to pay attention to now is the chessboard. So what I want now is for the chessboard to be moving, because when the reflection plays, the chess piece is supposed to move forward. So I want that to reflect in the shot. What I'm going to do now is to duplicate this mirror guy 2 and then rename it chessboard. I'm going to bring this chessboard layer to the top of the clip so that I can see what I'm doing perfectly. Now I'm going to delete the mask that is on it. I don't need this mask. I'm going to create a new mask, just draw a mask around it so I can see just only this chessboard. So now I'm going to work on the precise masking. The next thing I'm going to do is to right click. So I'm going to go to time, then freeze frame. So I'm going to do this for the second piece that was moved by the reflection. I'm going to adjust the mask to reveal that chess piece. Then right click, go to time, then freeze frame. Now I'm going to trim it like this to this area, because this is where we want it to be revealed. So once that is done, I'm going to bring this roto clip on top of the chessboard so that the subject is not covered. So if you look at it again, you will see that it is now more perfect than ever. But in case you have some subjects still overlapping each other, you can duplicate the clip and then freeze the clip where it is plain, then just cover it up with some plain shots. And then when you are done with it, you should have this. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've been able to learn how to make this mirror duplicate effect. I hope it was not really confusing. Yeah, I know you will get it. So I would like to see you try this effect in your next project. So tag me anywhere you are posting it on, and I will love to see what you've done with this. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video with your friends, and let's grow this community. As always, I will be coming up with more engaging educative content. Until next time, remember, it's always okay. Peace out.